Good afternoon, all the participants. Today we have the pleasure of having Dr. Ashok Hussain with us. Sir is Professor of Agronomy, MRCFC, Scotch Kashmir, Khodwini. And the
Yes.
topic chosen for deliberation today is improving farmers' income and livelihood security through agriculture diversification under temperate conditions. Sir, you're audible and visible, and your presentation is also visible. You may start, sir.
Thank you very much to the organizers, particularly Dr. Rais Shah Sahib, who has given me this opportunity to talk to you, to share with the audience some of the experiences here in Kashmir at Coast Kashmir. And I am Dr. Ashok Hussain, as said earlier. I'm professor in agronomy at Mountain Research Center for Field Crops, Coast Kashmir. My experience has been mostly in the rice, rapeseed, wheat, and to some extent in maize crop and some high value crops. So the topic assigned to me is improving farmers' income and livelihood security through agricultural diversification, particularly under the temperate conditions. So as we are aware that the sectors of the economy are the primary sectors and the secondary sectors, then we have the tertiary sectors. For example, primary sectors where we produce the raw material and then we process them, then we make different types of industrial products and do some kind of refinement, and those are included in the secondary and tertiary sectors. As we are aware that our agriculture, like mining, is a primary sector that feeds to the other sectors, and this primary agricultural is further divided into primary agriculture and secondary agriculture. Primary agriculture means simply cultivating the soil, producing crops, harvesting them, and then selling them or supplying them to the secondary agricultural industry. And in secondary agricultural, we have now the agricultural based small scale industries, or they may be large industries, also large scale industries, and where we have the primary processing and services sector. So here, agricultural diversification, I will try to connect it with the secondary agriculture, because many of the activities we do in secondary agriculture to add value to our products, to generate employment, to improve the profitability of the farmers. As we know that agriculture is the art and science of cultivating the soil, producing crops, raising livestock in varying degrees, and the preparation and marketing of the resulting products. So primary agriculture is just cultivating the soil and producing crops, but the secondary agriculture, a farmer does to add value to his products for sustainability, for improving the livelihood security, for monetization of his product, and strengthening the extension services by means of through strengthening extension services, and recognizing agriculture not just a subsistence type of thing, but as an enterprise, as an employment generation sector of the economy, and enabling the farmers to earn their income, to save money, to improve their standard of living, and make a farming an attractive and profitable business through this diversification, or what we also call as secondary agriculture. So we have in secondary agriculture, or we can also say that diversification of agricultural practices, diversification agricultural enterprises, it has three types of activities. One is A, where there are avenues of secondary agriculture. For example, they may be input based on input generation, or input centric, or we may have post harvest centric enterprises. For example, if a farmer is interested in production of horticultural crops, he may be interested in producing nurseries of forest species, field crops, seeds, nursery flowers, or it may also include type A activities, vermicomposting, anaerobic composting, biofertilizer production. It may be biopesticides. Biopesticides are also now used because we know that the chemical pesticides are reducing the quality of our food products, and biopesticides are now given a major emphasis to protect the environment and protect the quality and safety of the food. So a person can also have a water testing or soil testing lab that is also involved, that is also included in the secondary agriculture, or he may be involved in the production of animal feed or fodder, and including urea enriched straw blocks, which actually use the raw material from the primary agriculture. It can be post-harvest centric. That means it can be involved or it can be connected with the fruit processing. It can be included the preservation of vegetables, flowers, and spices, or it can deal with the packaging, cooling, storing, and these can be micro and small enterprises which are involved in the processing of the primary agricultural products. For example, it can be garlic paste, it can be coriander, it can be turmeric, it can be pickles, jams, which involves the value addition, processing, and preservation of the otherwise very delicate or which are subject to rotting. We protect and preserve them and improve their value, increase their value for a long-term storage, and also for supplying to the market in a gradual way without causing any glut or this prices slash down because of the excessive supply of the material to the market. We process them and increase their value. It can also include agrotourism, custom hiring centers, weaving, breeding, and flavors, etc. So type B activities actually are parallel agricultural activities which are connected to the primary agriculture. For example, it can be beekeeping, it can be palmyra palm products, it can be eucalyptus need products, square extraction, venom farming, hydroponics, corn powder production, rural agrotourism, can be broomstick, dentia, aloe vera, etc. It can also be certain enterprises related to our bamboo products, mawa products, or can be lag cultivation or sericulture. So these can be the parallel activities along with the agriculture that complement our primary agricultural these processes or primary agricultural activities, and these are included as type B activities. Then we have type C. Type C are actually dependent on the conversion of the waste products to wealth. That means waste wealth, we use residues, we use waste horticultural crops, products of animal origin, and it can be even the forest produce or medicinal plants. So type C activities are actually based on or depend on the waste products from the primary agricultural processes or activities. It can be, for example, conversion of dung into biogas. It can be conversion of crop residue into fiber boards. It can be urea enriched or fodder blocks from rice straw. It can be agave or banana fiber extraction, cutlery plates, wheat husk products, arecanut leaves, etc. So type C activities are actually based on the conversion of waste products into wealth without harming the environment. We know there are a large number of wastages from the primary production activities, particularly with related to the fruit and vegetables, which can be converted into economic products after processing and can be converted into concentrates and for consumption or movement into the food grade industry. It can be beverage, conversion of these waste fruits into beverage or wine industry. And similarly, concentrates can be fed to the cattle industry. Similarly, wastages can be also converted. For example, crop residues can be converted into compost, biogas, or fiber. So these are included as type C activities. Several agricultural wastes can also be converted into chemicals. And for example, we have corn stover, we have corn cobs, cashew, mawa, bagasse, straw from the grains and hulls, wheat straw, rice straw, sugarcane waste or bagasse from the sugar industry, sawdust, it's a wood bark, fruit waste, and many more. These can be converted through processing into ethanol, chemical cellulose, glucose, furfural, fuel gas, waxes, edible oils, oxalic acid, citric acid, and phenol products. Similarly, we can also produce fuels and chemicals, synthetic fibers, plastics, methanol. Then that means these chemical cellulose or glucose yeast can help in food processing. Then we have leather and textile industry also, where leather and textile chemicals are produced. These are the oxalic acid which are used in that industry. So visualizing secondary agriculture is actually agricultural diversification. Here we want to draw labor from the primary agricultural activities and use them in the secondary agricultural activities through the process of diversification. Then we know that urbanization, movement of people from rural areas to the cities, to the urban areas, and similarly with the increase in the income, the food habits are also changing. So we have to build strong demand through value addition and promotion for underutilized crops such as minor millets, medicines, and aromatic plants. Then we can go for the rural industrialization through these agricultural based small scale cottage industries, and then improve the supply chain so that transaction cost is reduced, and develop human resource to undertake research and extension related to the secondary agriculture. That means we have to train the young people in the secondary agricultural activities so that we can diversify the overall agricultural activities and increase the farmers' income in the times to come through the improvement in productivity, resource use efficiency, using remunerative crops, increasing cropping intensity, and diversification of high value crops and non-farm income. That means when the government of India started this slogan of doubling farmers' income, diversification towards high value crops was one of the important components to increase the farmers' income through technological integration and conservation and conservation and better utilization of available natural resources. So the sources outside the agriculture include shifting cultivators from farm to non-farm occupations and improvement in the terms of trade for farmers or real prices received by the farmers. So 7 strategies were laid down in that slogan in 2016. Honorable Prime Minister had listed at that time strategies. That means there was a big focus on irrigation because we have to bring more area under irrigation to improve the productivity and production of the country, particularly with respect to the food crops, fruits, and vegetables. Then we have to increase the supply of the quality seeds and nutrients so as to improve the soil health and improve the overall productivity. Then large investment in warehousing, as we were discussing, that means cold chains and preservation of the perishable commodities, particularly fruits and vegetables, and then promotion of food processing industries that help in the value addition and creation of a national farm market and removing distortions, introducing new crop insurance schemes or the other activities that will ensure the farmers' income and protect their income from the natural calamities, and promotion of ancillary industries, that means that are connected with the primary agricultural activities that include poultry, beekeeping, and fisheries. So these are the 7 strategies. Diversification towards high value crops. We know that there are 77% of the area is occupied by staple crops. They contribute less to the total income. It is actually the high value crops, that is fruits, vegetables, fibers, condiments, and sugarcane, which contribute 41% to the national income, but occupy only 19% of the area. So that means the high value crops occupy less area, only 19%, and contribute more than that of the staple crops. That means they have higher profitability, higher productivity per unit area, and have the potential to increase the employment greater than the staple crops, which include cereals, pulses, and oilseeds. So average productivity of the high value crops is 1,44,777 per hectare. The data is a bit older. It may be more than that now. So we have, in terms of the diversification, we have to think now more of the high value crops, which include fruits, vegetables, and many other crops other than the staple crops, that is cereals, pulses, and oilseeds. Now, a little bit about the diversification. We can have diversification in 2 ways. That one is horizontal diversification. That means we have to shift from the monoculture to diversified agriculture. That means more number of crops per unit area, per unit time, because always we know that whenever we concentrate, we focus on a one crop on a unit area, we are at more risk, because we always say that don't put all eggs in one basket. There is always risk of failure of a crop, and there will be disaster for the farmer. So if a farmer grows more than two or three crops, his income is assured. Even if one crop fails, one or two crops fail, still he may get income from the other crops. The other form of horizontal diversification is the farm has more than one enterprise. That means, for example, if a farmer has some area devoted to the fodder production and he has also an animal component for the production of milk, says a few cows for the production of milk, dairy, and then this is also a horizontal diversification, because one component here is dependent on the another component. Another type of diversification, type 2 diversification, is vertical diversification. Diversification that means finally the use of farm resources for non-agricultural activities. Here, the secondary diversification or vertical diversification is that means the farmer has some enterprises that are dealing with the value additions. So here, need for diversification. Why do we need diversification? It is because we have to improve the productivity and income of the farmers and natural resource sustainability. Then we have to promote ecological balance, output growth, food and nutritional security, employment generation, risk coverage, promoting export. Changes in the government policy will help in that case, attaining self-sufficiency and promoting export, earning foreign exchange, because when we do value addition, we produce crops and food products according to the international market, then we can definitely earn foreign exchange in agriculture also, as we are doing, for example, in basmati case and many other fruits which we export and earn foreign exchange. Then diversification can have a four situation, a scenario. For example, a farmer may have low level of diversification and low level of endowments. That means his resources are less and his level of diversification also can be at a lower level. And this agroclimatically better endowed region, lack of infrastructure is there, access to input and market is constrained, and low adoption of improved technologies. But we have a situation where resource endowments are high. Again, the farmer is not diversifying his enterprise. There is low level of diversification. There is everything. There is the irrigation, mechanization, low income market risk, low relatively profitability of substitute enterprise. But the best situation is that where we have high level of resource endowments. That means we have irrigation, we have mechanization, we have inputs, we have fertilizer, we have water, and we are also commercializing many high value crops driven by the demand for high value commodities and supply side factors favorable to the diversification. So when we have endowments, we have resources, we have expertise, we have good land, we have fertile land, we have water, and we can diversify, but at the same time, we should have market for our product. So the situation 4 is the best, where we diversify more and we have high level of resource endowments. Then drivers of diversification, it is based actually on the consumer demand for animal products, fruits and vegetables. We know the standard of living is increasing. People are moving more towards the protein and balanced diets, to plant-based food sources, fruits, vegetables, pulses. Then changing demographics, more urbanized areas and more population in those areas because of migration. There is changing food habits, increasing standard of living, export potential of basmati, for example, meat and milk products will be in a greater demand, adding value to value ready meals and labor saving packages, then changing market opportunities and removal of state regulated markets, and improving nutrition through diversification. That means when we produce different types of crops, we are diversifying the crop production, we are diversifying the agriculture. At the same time, we are also heading towards the nutritional diversification, because our dependence on some simple food materials, particularly the cereals, they are low in minerals and vitamins and proteins, and that results into the malnutrition. So nutritional diversification is also associated an additional benefit from the crop diversification. Always we know that high diversified areas where we have high HI, that is Herfindahl index, which is an indicator of the level of diversification. From many papers, we have seen that the income in highly diversified areas is higher, and it is more stable year after year than in the areas which have lower diversification index, HI, and the income is also lesser and less stable. So high HI areas, we see that the man days, that is, there is more potential for employment generation. The man days per year are 266, and in low diversified areas, the generation of employment is lesser. It is only 191 man days per year. So this diversification leads to more employment generation, which is need of the hour. Then, for example, in Jammu and Kashmir, we have also a great opportunity for production of the crops in organic mode. This is the reason that we have lesser pest and disease incidence in many crops. We use less amount of fertilizers as compared to Punjab and Haryana. Then we have varied agroclimatic zones and we can produce a variety of crops. For example, basmati in the Jammu region, we can export to many foreign countries. Kashmir is known for quality saffron, zira, fresh and dry fruits, particularly walnut and almond. And we have the great potential for the commercialization of floriculture. Then in Ladakh region also, we can produce apricots and sea buckthorn. So we have advantage in many crops which are niche to our region. That is why in many developmental projects, for example, in HADP, Holistic Agricultural Development Program, there is a special project on project number 3 on promotion of niche crops, which includes saffron, which includes Kashmiri chili, which includes many other spices and wild garlic. So there's an increasing trend on the investment in organic farming as well as in the area. People are now moving towards this organic agriculture to improve their income and to improve the quality of the environment and sustainability. Similarly, basmati is also one of the important products that Jammu area is producing, in particularly in the Ranbir Singh Pora area, and that's why the basmati has also a great potential for diversification. Then we can improve our foreign exchange earnings through the export of these commodities, particularly the basmati. Now, temperate region is not generally suitable for the production of these basmati types because of the cold climate, and we have the problem of grain filling during the month of September because the temperature is less. But from many selections from Pusa, Sugan 3, 4 and 5, then PRH can also be evaluated under Kashmir condition. Then 2014 onwards, we also evaluated Pusa Basmati 1509. Then an essentially derived variety, which was given the name SCOW 494, is actually derivative of Pusa Sugan 3, which matures earlier. Otherwise, the normal Basmati variety is imported from subtropical regions, mature very late on, or do not mature at all under temperate conditions of Kashmir Valley. But this selection, that is Pusa Shalimar Sugan 1, which was released in 2022, is maturing at the right time and almost producing 5.5 tons per hectare under Kashmir conditions. Though this is controlled by the geographical indication, but it can sell at a higher price because we have good aroma in this case, which was actually derived from Pusa Sugan 3. Now this is called as the Shalimar Sugan 1, which matures in 135 days if it is transplanted in the month of first week of June and sown in first week of May. So when earlier sowing has been seen as a better option for the farmers because this is actually a subtropical crop. Earlier sowing helps us in production of more yield, higher quality, and the nitrogen may be increase the yield even up to 100 kg, but not beyond 100 kg per hectare of nitrogen. This is because this produces lesser amount of biomass. It's a short stature crop. Excessive nitrogen will result in delay in the maturity. So 100 kg is sufficient. Otherwise, in our own non-basmati varieties, we apply even up to 120 kg nitrogen per hectare, depending on the native soil fertility. But at the same time, we have seen that the straw is also equally valuable for our conditions. It is fed as a fodder during the lean period, during the winter months, and it is also supplied to the apple industry as a packaging material. So straw is equally valuable under Kashmir conditions. If we see, the rice industry is also related to the value additions, because rice as a coarse material, we procure it, we sieve it, clean, drying, and tempering. This is also a sort of activity that generates employment, improves the value of rice. Then another is husking. If we remove the husk only, lema and pelia, we can produce brown rice, which is in high demand in the market, and the price is even up to 150 kg per kg, 150 rupees per kg, a high value product which is produced by husking. When we go for milling, then we produce the white rice. Then in rice milling also, we have many enterprises, which is cleaning, destoning, paddy separation, width grading, whitening, polishing, then length grading, aspiration, color sorting, and packaging, then storage. So we can add value and brand rice products. We have a set of post-harvest technological options in rice. It can be parboiling, milling, brown rice production, puffed rice, and flaked rice, which is used in by different people in many dishes. And this post-harvest value addition in rice increases definitely the price, which can range from 60 to 150 for parboiled rice. Then brown rice 100 to 165 rupees per kg. Then we have puffed rice 200 to 250, and flaked rice 30 to 50. So there are a large number of opportunities in the post-harvest industry of rice. We know before the Green Revolution, large number of land races were cultivated in different regions of the country, and these included the red rice, red bran layer, then many colored rices. These colored rices are rich in polyphenols and anthocyanin and possess antioxidant properties. They have higher amount of mineral nutrients, particularly zinc and iron, and this is 2 to 3 times higher than the normal white rice varieties. For example, the Nawara or Najwara rice of Kerala has medicinal properties. It is practiced in neuromuscular disorders such as hemiplegia and paraplegia, and it can cost even 100, 150 rupees per kg. Kala Namak, another land rice, is one of the finest quality scented rice that is produced in many states, UP and Uttarakhand, and it fetches a very good market price and it can be included as a high value crop. Similarly, if we see under temperate conditions of Kashmir Valley, we had at one point of time hundreds of land races cultivated by the farmers and used, but with the advent of Green Revolution, these were actually not used by the farmers because they were having lesser yield potential and they were also susceptible to disease. But efforts were made at Sher-e Kashmir University of Agricultural Sciences and Technology to revive these high-value land races. These included Mushkabudji, Kamad, Nunbiol, red rice, and they enjoy a huge demand in the market. We know that Mushkabudji, it is an aromatic Japonica land race, belongs to Kashmir, and it can sell even at the rate of 300 rupees per kg when after processing and packaging and branding. So farmers in the mid-altitude areas, which include 1750 meters to 1900 meters above mean sea level altitude, these types of varieties, particularly Mushkabudji and Kamad, are grown by the farmers. These are high value rices and they fetch more higher market price and improve the farmers' income, but they are susceptible to disease, and a few fungicidal sprays are required to protect it from the rice blast. It is highly susceptible to rice blast, leaf blast, neck blast, and even nodal blast. So there are good number of success stories, and even the farmers from one of the villages in the Kokarnak Anantnag area, they were awarded the Genome Savior Award. So another example is the conservation of red rice, which was done in the Tangdar area. Those farmers also awarded by the government of India the price of rupees 10 lakh for saving the red rice. So far, as facilitated by Sher-e Kashmir University and Mountain Research Center for Field Crops, two groups of farmers got prizes in Genome Savior Award in the year 2011 and in the year 2016 for the conservation of the land races. And these land races are now used by the farmers in their fields. This resulted in not only the conservation of these precious land resources, land races, precious bioresources, but also led to the improvement, 3 to 4 times improvement in the income of the farmers. Now, up to 2021, we have around 320 hectares of area under Mushkabudji, and production has increased up to 1,300 tons. Now, there are other options of diversifying our rice-based cropping systems so as to improve the income of the farmers. For example, normally we go for rice, brown sarson crop rotation, but we can also have rice barseem to improve the soil fertility and to improve the supply of the fodder to the animals. And we can also have rice oats crop rotation, but this is an exhaustive one, so needs to be rotated sometimes intermittently with the barseem to improve the soil condition. We can also have as an intercrop soybean on the ridges, which was used by our farmers in the earlier times, but this practice has abandoned. But again, we should again revive this practice of cultivating soybean under Kashmir conditions on the ridges in between the rice fields so as to improve the protein supply and also add value to the soybean in the processing. So rice wheat rotation, we are trying hard, but so far not much success has been achieved to popularize the rice wheat rotation because the wheat gets delayed. It matures by the end of June, and by that time it is very late for the transplantation of rice. So rice brown sarson, rice oats, rice barseem are better options before the farmers. Now, very, very important in the agricultural diversification, we have to popularize and preserve and conserve our niche crops. We have many schemes by the government of India, for example, one district, one product. Similarly, using those types of incentives, the farmers in Jammu and Kashmir can produce the niche crops that are suited agroecologically to their areas. For example, Rajma of Bhadrava district are very, very popular, of high quality and fetch very high market prices. Then we have Gurez and Masal area is well known for the production of potato, which is of very high quality and fetches higher market price. Similarly, red rice of Tangdar, we have Mushkabudji of Anantnag, Kokarnag area. Then we have ginger and turmeric of Poni, Riasi, and our major exportable organic products. Then in Himalayas, we can also produce many aromatic plants and medicinal plants. So moving after the rice, if we see, the maize is also grown on around 3 lakh hectares in Jammu and Kashmir, but the traditional maize fetches very, very low income for the farmers. So there is a need to diversify apart from the rice areas, the corn areas, that means the maize areas, should also be diversified by using the high value corns, that is the specialty corns. So what are these specialty corns? Specialty corns include the sweet corn. It also includes the popcorn and baby corn. One by one, since 2011-12, we have been trying to popularize the sweet corn hybrids in Kashmir Valley, and these have become now very popular for the farmers and the consumers as well. We can also have very early crop of sweet corn to fetch higher market price, but for this we have to raise the seedlings in small poly bags in the month of March under protected conditions, so that we can transplant them in the month of April, by first week or second week of April, so that within 115 or 150 20 days, crop of sweet corn can be sold in the market and for fetching higher market prices. We can have two methods of establishment. One is direct seeding, but by March we cannot go for direct seeding. Even up to in April also the conditions are cold, germination issues are there, but we can again go for the transplanted sweet corn, that's raising the seedlings in the polybags, then tearing the polybag and transplanting the seedlings in the main field, which requires definitely some labor but fetches higher market prices, higher quality, and more produce and larger size of the cobs. The hybrid sweet corn, particularly the sugar 75 from Syngenta, or no, this Mitas from the Nongbo, these two hybrids we have seen, they produce large quantities of green quality cob, and they also produce large quantities, maybe 25 tons of fodder, green fodder, and this way we can have a good income for the farmers by diversifying the maize-based cropping systems. I believe that when we compare it with the profitability of the rice, it can be even up to 4 or 5 lakh per hectare, which is almost 4 to 5 times higher than that of rice. So sweet corn is a very good crop for the farmers for improving their income and profitability. So there are certain practices that need to be followed for cultivating the successful crop, produce a successful crop of sweet corn. These means we have to, for transplanting, we have to prepare soil media by using 3:1:1 soil, sand, and manure mixtures. And then we can also thoroughly mix 15 grams of urea, 15 grams of DAP, and 5 grams per 100 kg of soil to make a very good medium for raising the seedlings in polybags, small polybags which have a capacity of holding 250 grams or 300 grams of soil, sand, manure, and fertilizer mixture. By raising the seedlings within 20 days under protected conditions, they are ready for transplanting, and then we can have almost 66,000 to 76,000 cobs per hectare. Even a cob can fetch a price of 25 to 30 rupees per unit, and this way we can improve the farmer's income even up to 5 lakh per hectare net profit. So this is one choice for the farmers. The other hybrid one is Sugar 75, and the second one is Mitas Nangwu. Nangwu hybrid has also become very popular among the farmers, and this produces crops of larger size than Sugar 75. But the precaution is that the advice is that the farmers have to use a good amount of fertilizers, which includes 150 kilograms of nitrogen, 75 kilograms of phosphate, and 40 kilograms of P2O5 plus 20 kilograms of zinc sulfate. And farmers can also use biofertilizers so as to reduce, at least to some extent, dependence on the fertilizers. And farmers can also go for application of organic manures even up to 10 to 15 tons per hectare, because we know it produces almost 15 tons of the cob and 20 tons of the green fodder. So this crop is very, very exhaustive. Need is there for a good amount of application of fertilizers so as to meet the uptake demand and produce a good crop, a successful crop. As we are aware that sweet corn is a fresh product, it is highly perishable. It can be stored in the refrigerator for a few days, maybe weeks time. But for long-term storage, we need to have a post-harvest processing in place. This can be canning, or this can be stored as a frozen sweet corn and at minus 10 degrees Celsius for a few months. So in this process, value addition, which also is related to the diversification, the fresh produce, it is peeled, the husk is removed, the cobs are blanched for 4 minutes at 100 degrees Celsius and immediately transferred to cold water. After peeling the grains are put in food grade polythene bags, polybags with zippers, and then those zippers can be stored under sub-zero temperatures in under refrigerated conditions or deep freezers for many months. And even the fresh produce can be we can produce in the month of August, September, or even October. But beyond October, we can supply to the consumers this frozen sweet corn. So frozen sweet corn can further increase the income of the farmers even after 6 lakh per hectare. So the fodder is also a valuable commodity. Fodder we need always for our cattle, and the fodder is also sold even up to 20,000, 30,000 per hectare, depending on the demand. So regarding the preservation, fresh carbs are boiled or blanched for 5 to 10 minutes in boiling water at 100 degrees Celsius. Then abruptly it is poured on a cold water and a tap water, clean tap water, then it is shelled, and then material is packaged in poly bags or zipper bags, and then it is stored at minus temperature at minus 10 degrees Celsius for many months, and then we can sell them at a higher prices, even up to 200 rupees per kg or more than that. This way, we are adding value to our produce, and we are also able to supply the product, fresh product, this value-added product to our consumers for many months, even during the winter. So another important crop that can help in diversification of the maize-based cropping systems is the popcorn, very important snack for particularly lacking for the children. And this popcorn flour is also used sometimes. Here the popcorn is heated at 170 degrees Celsius. That results in building the pressure in the kernel endosperm. That results in the pop and forms a popcorn. Many varieties are popular in India. It is VL Amber popcorn, then VL popcorn 2, and then we have VL popcorn 1, Jawahar popcorn 11. Then from Scotch Kashmir in 2016-17, we also released one popcorn variety called Shalimar popcorn, which is released from for zone 1, 2, and 3, and 5 in India. It has a popping percentage of 85% and can produce a grain yield of 4 to 5 tons per hectare. So very profitable for the farmers, very high price is fetched. Then even it can sell up to 300 rupees per kg after processing, adding some kind of edible oil, canola oil, sunflower oil, or coconut oil. Then it also needs under 60 and 40 kilograms of NPK per hectare. Then these nitrogen has to be applied in 2 to 3 splits. Then zinc sulfate is also required to improve the productivity and the value addition, that is adding the oil. Then packaging can result in further increase in the profitability by cultivating this popcorn. We can have an assembly line of popcorn kernels are mixed with the oil, salt, and butter. Then popcorn reactor is there. Then it pops, and then those popped material can be separated and packaged and sold in the market by having an assembly line for the production of popcorn directly. So another third crop in the high value corn segment, we have the baby corn. Baby corn is actually the immature pith of the cob, which is harvested just 1 to 3 days after silk emergence. We have not to allow the fertilization. Then we have to go for higher plant population, maybe 1,11,000 per hectare plants, then higher dose of fertilizer, and then we can produce this in just 80 days or 85 days. We can produce a baby corn. Then it is used in soups, sandwiches, pizzas, vegetables, and as a salad to boost the nutritional diversification. It has good amount of vitamins and fiber. Then sustain the cattle production, because we also at the same time, apart from the baby corn, we also produce good amount of fodder, by cultivating, by growing this baby corn. Then baby corn is a low calorie vegetable having higher fiber content and without cholesterol, good for the cholesterol patients. Jammu and Kashmir is a tourist state, and production and supply of this baby corn or popcorn or sweet corn to the hotel industry can further improve the tourism industry in this part of the world. So there are numerous varieties of baby corn which are very popular in India. HM4, PS79, then we have VL78. Then it can yield 12 to 15 tons per hectare. We need nitrogen 150 kg per hectare. Then just after 1 to 3 days after silking, we have to remove the cobs, peel them, and then store them. We can also have caning of baby corn, then spacing of 50 to 20 centimeters. That means more like 11,101, 111 plants per hectare. Then fertilizer dose can even be increased up to 200, 150 kg of NP and K plus 10 tons of FIM. Then we have our local variety, which is C15, which is suitable for this baby corn production. Then processing of baby corn is also another important aspect to preserve the crop, to improve the income and add value to this, and save it from perishing or rotting. We can have this type of process. One is canning. After cleaning and boiling, soaking and grading, then we are storing the baby corn in brine solution. And then under aseptic conditions, we have to seal the containers. Then dehydration and drying is another process by which this is preserved, this baby corn. Then freezing, just as we have frozen sweet corn, we can have frozen baby corn also. So brine solution in the ratio of 2:98 is also used to protect this baby corn under in canning situation. So here we must not also forget that apple is also grown on a very large area in Kashmir Valley, and we have now high density apple is picking up in a very fast rate. Many areas of rice are now converted into the apple plantations. Then we have also apple byproducts, for example, pomace, pulp, and many other materials which can be value added. So another opportunity to our farmers is the value addition in the apple industry of this pomace and pulp. We also have apple juice industries in Kashmir, two industries, one in government sector, public sector, and one in the private sector. And those also produce this apple. After extracting the juice, the raw material pomace is used in production of many products which are functional foods, dairy products, confectionery products, extrusion technologies. Also, we are able to produce many products. Then we also use this juice in the baby foods, and then many meat products. So apple byproducts are also very, very important, which help us in converting the dropped apple to value added products. Then another situation is pharmaceutical industry. We know that apple pomace has a very important role in the has pharmacological properties. It can be antioxidant, anti-obesity, anti-carcinogenic, anti-hypertensive, antiviral, antimicrobial, anti-hyperpedemic, and anti-hyperglycemic. So there are many important roles that can be played by these apple byproducts, and these have many medicinal properties. So many products can be prepared. Last but not the least, I should say that for the farmers who have 0.75 hectare to 1 hectare area minimum, they can adopt integrated farming systems, which is also related to the diversification, where we can have many components which, rather than competing with each other, they complement each other. For example, under Kashmir conditions, we can have 4 components. For a 1 hectare area, farm area, we can have on 0.35 hectares, we can have high density apple orchard. And in between the rows, we have a spacing of 8 to 11 feet that can be used for the production of perennial fodders. And then we can have a cow unit of 3 to 4 cows for production of milk and cow dung. Then we can have a polyhouse that we can protect the vegetables during winter and produce seedlings of many important vegetable crops early in the spring. And some area, at least 0.15 hectare, can be diverted or devoted to vegetable production. Then zero point 0.4 hectares we can have rice oats cropping system. Rice can be consumed by the farming family, and oats can be used as a fodder for the cattle unit. And if a farmer is able to dig a pond also on 500 square meter area with a poultry unit integrated to it, where he can also rear 20 to 25 birds, and fish pond can be used for the production of the fish. And all the wastage of cow dung and the crop residue can be dumped in the pond. It can be used for rearing the local carp or silver carp. So a farmer, depending on his convenience and availability of the resources, he can have many components, at least three components, which can help in augmenting the income, improving the nutritional and crop diversity, and helping in reducing the dependence on the external inputs, because here the materials are recycled. The raw material, the waste products of one enterprise becomes the input for the other. For example, we have cow dung from the cattle unit, from the cow unit. The cow dung can be converted into vermicompost. It can be recycled back in the rice oats cropping system, or it can be converted into vermicompost and applied to high density apple orchard to improve the soil fertility. These types of integrated farming systems are more sustainable, more profitable, more environment friendly, and more ecological in nature. So it can improve the farmer's income by many times than when compared to a single crop. So there are certain policy recommendations that have come up from the preceding discussion, that these types of activities involve a cooperation and networking between the institutes, bioresource industries, financial institutions. That means they require the capital investment. Farm organizations should be strengthened. Encouragement of public-private partnership and technology commercialization and transfer and investment requirement is very, very important. And connecting this primary production with the secondary agriculture is also important to improve the income and improve the livelihood security and employment opportunity. Then capacity building of the educated farmers on secondary agriculture and employment generation is also very, very important. Access to physical, economic, and financial infrastructure, such as marketing. Once we produce, market should be available and not far away from the production center. Then we should have storage facility also built for the farmers on a cooperative basis. So enabling the rural industrialization is very, very important to link on-farm and off-farm activities, provide technical support to the for viable farmers and organizations and cooperatives or farmer producer organizations is also very important. Without technical support, it is not possible to do these all skill related activities. Then combining production and processing, that is value addition, is also very, very important for both for the crop production, particularly for the crops that are perishable, fruit crops, vegetable crops, milk, fish products, and then integrated farming system, as we discussed in the last slide, is also very, very important to improve the sustainability and improve the income of the farmers. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone. Do you have few questions? We have few minutes before we drop off to the next one.
Yes, most welcome.
If someone has a question, please unmute themselves and they can ask. If not, or raise a hand if someone has a question.
Yes, please.
Sir, I don't see a question here. We have another session coming up in few minutes. So on behalf
Okay.
of the organizing committee and the participants, I would like to congratulate and thank you for this lovely session. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. All the best.